What's up, you guys? Welcome back to today's video. Really exciting day because we're gonna be putting the front tub back on the 911. If you guys don't know the story, we bought this crashed GT3 and we cut the front end off it because it was torn up. In the last episode, we took apart the whole entire front tub, deconstructed everything from our RS tub to build the new front tub for the 911. Well, it went off to SOS to get some paint and for them to do some body work on this thing to get it ready. And now it's a few days later, the tub is back in our possession. They even laid some paint down on it. So it's time for us to start reassembling. We've done a bunch of disassembly. Now we're gonna start reassembling the whole front end and make this one final car and make it a solid unit. But first, Oscar, I have a little gift for you. I got you a limited edition magazine, and I'll even sign it for you if you'd like.
Would you? Could you sign for my papi?
Damn, the print on that.
To my, I like.
Damn,
this
the print's really nice.
It's pretty cool.
That is pretty sick. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Fucking King Charles himself, huh?
Yeah, they gave me a front cover. I don't know why.
Dude.
These three cars are mine.
Yeah.
That's what.
I want you to sign it like.
You can put it in the SOS office.
I want you to sign it like this. To my papi from your mijo. Te quiero mucho.
I'll do that.
Exactly
Whoa,
like that.
crazy.
I'll do that.
Okay, to my.
It's MI.
Not me. Okay, you can put me papi. That's fine. From to mijo.
To me.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So if you buy merch today, you're getting that too. All right, included. Sell that thing on eBay. It'll be worth something someday. Dude. Not today, but someday, 20, 30 years from now.
It's all right. And we're on to the Porsche. So we took measurements from the tub and we took measurements from the actual frame of the car, and we're going to be cutting both of them so it equals the correct distance and length that we need. So at this point, there is absolutely zero turning back. One cut done incorrectly could cost us thousands. So after taking our time and removing the necessary material, came out pretty great. Now we just have to see if the tub will slip into the frame. So the idea with keeping this inner structure here is so that when we slide the new tub on, we can utilize all the factory reinforcement. The whole entire rectangle was cut with precision, so now this section can slip into this section, and we can have the proper structure. Now let's slide it on and see how it fits. This is our first mock-up. There's gonna be more to go for this, but yeah! Slight snag.
I'm gonna give her a little hump. Still a lot of pressure.
Couple pumps.
Oh, it's so close to that spot. Damn. All right, first impressions with the tub slipped in. We're done. The car is complete. Dylan just installed like the ABS bracket too, just to see if both sides will line up, and they lined up perfectly. And obviously it was probably gonna be a little bit of adjusting before we actually put the welder to it. We're gonna double check all the different surfaces and make sure that everything is lined up, and probably lay up a fender or two before we start seam sealing and putting in rivets, but that is sick.
I want to point something out. This is fantastic to the three of us, but homies, just do this.
Yeah, you guys just do this in your
You
sleep.
just do this. This is like, to us, that's why you haven't seen me, because I'm just like, don't touch me with that.
Dude, this is sick.
What the
How's
heck?
it line up?
They're great. Like I think everything takes just like, you know, it's all pretty flimsy.
Yeah.
Just a little hand movement here and there, but honestly,
Rivet, seam seal. Oh, look at that.
yeah, like we could put a bolt through that and a bolt through that.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that is really cool. It looks really good. And with the paint on there too. Looks like it's supposed to be here. Doesn't look like this is from a different car now. About last night, Dylan stayed here and started lining up all of our panels. And as I mentioned earlier, that we were just gonna do it temporarily with nut and bolt rather than doing rivets, because we're really trying to make sure that this thing is straight before we actually start hard mounting everything with rivets and seam sealer and welding. This is super exciting to see. It's very promising that we were actually able to get all the holes to line up, given that this is a Carrera tub mixed with the GT3 body, the RS back panel from the tub. If you remember the video when we took this apart, it didn't fit because it didn't have the right back housing to fit the gas tank. So everything's in, everything is saved. I think at this point you would think that this came on this car, which is super exciting. Dylan and I continually talked about how this is the scariest part of the build. Once we get this done, we're gonna be hitting the ground running, and I'm super stoked. We're really trying to do this as right as possible. Us not being a collision center, us not being a Porsche collision center, We're trying to do every single thing we can so that when this car goes back together, even if you know it's crashed and you start taking things apart, you're not gonna see anything that just looks like it was half-assed or see anything that looks like it was ever repaired. Apart from getting all of the panels to match up, Dylan had the bright idea to take the front subframe from the car and attach it because that actually marries the front tub and marries the chassis together. But what's exciting is that the subframe connects to the chassis and it also stretches and marries to the front tub, and everything aligned just as we had hoped. So again, we're running down the trajectory that we wanted to be towards, and that's when you put this on, you really want to hope that it's straight, and you really want to hope that there's no, there's nothing too out of shape or too out of line to where nothing's going to line up or you're going to have issues. And the fact that that is on is a great idea. I didn't even think of that. Let me just say, it's very exciting. It's a very nervous part of this whole entire build. So
these two portions are doweled as well. So like these are oversized by like a 1/4 inch, and these two are doweled. And when I doweled these and snugged them up, all 4 of these bolts were dead center, like not off at all. I don't know, there's a brake bracket up in here for the ABS, and 1 bolt hole lands on this side and 1 bolt hole lands on this side. So it was another piece for us to line up when we put the nose on. Everything was just perfectly lined up, perfectly flawless.
Now that I've gotten you guys caught up to speed with the front tub, now that it's connected, the next thing we have to do is try to put some body panels on the car and see if it lines up straight. That's gonna be the biggest indication if this job is done incorrectly, is if we put body panels on and we just can't get body gaps to line up. So let's lower it and throw on a fender. So our fenders are a little bit damaged. This is the front right fender. It has a little bend here in the outer lip area, but nothing that's really gonna affect anything. Our front left fender, on the other hand, is actually pretty mangled. Now, Dylan spent some time with a hammer trying to save this front fender, but it's not perfect. We're gonna try to align it just to get an idea of what it looks like, but we're gonna need to order a new one. There's no saving this one. And unfortunately, our headlights are busted. Although we will be able to use them to at least see if they fit in the car and line up with the car, we're gonna have to order new ones. That is just not gonna fly. And then of course this one's completely screwed up. But again, we'll be able to use this to place this in the fender to see if everything lines up and looks straight. And the hood that came on the red GT3 is also pretty bent. It has a big buckle here in the back. And although it looks relatively okay, when it comes to lining this thing up and getting body gaps, it's not gonna work. So what we've done is we've taken the hood from the green GT3 RS, and if you don't remember, this hood wasn't in too bad of shape. The real damage actually happened underneath the hood. And what you can't tell now, but the underside of this carbon here started to separate from the green and kind of was splitting like this. So Dylan has put in some seam seal, let it dry overnight just to close it up. And although it's damaged underneath, structurally, this thing is still straight and will be a good test subject for our hood when we throw this on the car.
Do you think you can save that and run it on the car to have a .2 hood?
I would say you could, but it's just who knows how much this is gonna be. Like, you could absolutely save this. I wouldn't say you'd have the same structural integrity, but if you were to, get some carbon and patch all of it, you could. I selfishly want to hang it on my wall. So I'm gonna keep it as a little token. And for those that are like, oh, well, just go buy one. That hood's 20 grand. Not gonna buy one.
Higher, higher, higher.
Ooh! Push my luck.
Well, I got
I f***ed up. Put it in the wrong hole, you know what I'm saying?
How'd you even do that? How'd you even do that?
Ah, yes. Feels a little bit better there.
TJ put it in the wrong hole.
I forgot to mention that when it comes to the front bumper, the GT3 did not come with one, and the green RS also didn't come with one. But I did order one, and it's actually gonna be here in 4 days. So we don't have a front bumper, but we have everything else. So I think it's gonna be good enough.
Oh, it's so light. Oh,
Damn.
it's got a tub and a hood.
It's weird seeing this with the tub on it.
It feels so... I'm just like fingers crossed right now, man. Because if these line up within a few millimeters, right? 1/8 of an inch, whatever. That's enough room to know that the front is straight. I know we don't have a frame jig and all that, but we've measured it all. It seems to be perfect, but if everything lines up pretty good right now, I'm gonna sleep tonight.
We're really trying to take every single precaution, and we're really following off of SOS's lead on this. Everything lines up from the tub. The subframe is an even added bonus to get that on. And now the fact that we can get multiple body panels to be straight, even though we're missing the front bumper, I think that's more than enough to have some confidence that we are in the right place. We're where we need to be. So let's go on and throw on the front fender. Makes it really easy when there's nothing under the fender to put this on. It looks good. It looks really good. So we've lined up the hardware with the previous wear marks on the fender. So this is first guess, no adjusting, just going off of the wear marks. Let's see how close it lines up. If the fitment on this is similar to how it was before it crashed, with this new tub, this body line should be pretty solid.
Oh my gosh.
I'm first live action, both your faces right now.
Damn.
Shall I look at it?
That's pretty
Yeah.
factory.
Yo!
Now it needs
One of these?
Now remember, we don't have the bumper, so there's no little bumper stops.
Dude,
Wow.
it's been real nice. You don't need me anymore, I'm out of here.
Dude, look at this too. Wow. Because if any of this front tub was off by even 1/8 of an inch, none of this would be close. None of this would be close.
Right here.
Dude, that's so perfect.
There's not like a big
Wow.
center dip or a big top hole or anything like that.
That's epic.
It's better than the fitment on the hood on your Black Mark 4.
Just cause.
Yeah.
Cause we can.
Take her to the optometrist.
And then down. And then it should.
Oh my god, it looks like a car. Whoa!
Like we're pregnant.
Dude, it's almost here.
That's
There's just
big
a
relief.
engine that needs to get disassembled and put a manual gearbox and figuring out how to put it
That-
all back in the car, and there's still all of that to do. But as far as like, look at this, everything here forward wasn't there. All right, we'll try this other fender.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be too screwed up for it to like be accurate, but for the sake of having it, we're gonna do it.
It is supposed to go.
Oh, this is supposed to be like this.
So externally,
Ah,
it's not too bad, right, for this outer skin. But all of the headlight bracket and the mounting bracket is all pretty F.
It's all screwed up.
So that's the part that makes it hard to fix, in my opinion.
Dude, looking at the underside, you gotta save it and run it. That's so sick.
There's a lot of aftermarket things out there that make aftermarket dry carbon hoods and stuff.
That's just a lot of carbon work. And you'd see the patches. You could be
Sure, yeah.
the best
Yeah,
ever, and you'd
you'd
still
still
see a
see
seam line.
What do you think, Pep?
I think
Yeah.
what a ridiculous thing that's going on. Look at that car. And look at this car. We're not almost done, but we're almost like it's gonna be a car.
We were saying like once this is done, dude, this is the hard part. Yeah. The scary part. I think everything else is gonna be easy compared to this.
Again, if this doesn't line up, this fender's effed. So I don't think it's a clear indication of having anything wrong with the alignment. If anything, going to show us that this fender's effed. Yeah, see, watch. If this lines up properly,
It also hits right there at the
this
bottom.
fender's messed up.
Yeah.
But if you look back here at these two gaps, I'm pretty happy with all this. And I know that this is messed up.
It's a little wide in the middle.
Yeah.
And a little
But
close up here.
But when you lift it and you look at it, it's clearly out of spec with its alignments
for sure.
and how much adjustment you have. I don't know. I'm gonna call it good. I'm gonna call it good. You wanna try and
Start
jam a
it?
headlight in there?
You want to start it?
That was
Let's
the
let's do a cold start.
Oh, I feel good about it. Look at that. Good enough.
For the imaginary purpose of this demonstration, like that fender is completely screwed up and it almost works. So now that we have everything on the car, we're gonna give this the green light. The green light to do our welding on the frame. Now once the welding is done, we'll be able to take off all of the hardware holding the tub together and piece by piece remove the hardware and rivet the whole entire tub as well as seam seal where necessary. Once all of that happens and the welding is done, our front tub is gonna be officially finished. It's gonna be done. And we'll be able to move on to the transmission and putting the engine back in the car. Also, it's gonna be very cool once we finish the welding. We'll be able to go in. We bought all the sample paint that SOS sprayed, and we can do some spray touch-ups in here. And we're gonna make sure that all of the seam sealer and everything is fluent throughout the whole entire front end of the car, so that you'll never be able to know this car was ever repaired. Not that we're trying to hide it, but like, if you're gonna buy this car or ever own it, you're never gonna wanna be able to see that it was crashed. You want it to be perfect. So we're really trying to take our time, not cut any corners, and challenge ourselves to do that. So I asked my friend Mark to come in and weld up the rest of the car. And at this point, we can finally close the chapter on what is structural damage to this car. From here, we can finally move on to putting the engine back together, swapping the new gearbox into the car, and hopefully getting ready to start this car for his first time. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace out, and keep moving forward.